Hello everyone, welcome to Deep Tips. So, how are you all? We are doing trigonometric ratios, right? So, this is my third live stream on trigonometry, and we are all ready to do practice questions today. Right, children? So, I'm waiting for everyone to join me in for this live stream so that we can practice the questions on trigonometric ratios. Okay, so yes. Hey, hi Vanch, how are you doing? So glad to see you on time. Thank you for tuning in. Please call other friends also so that we can start the session in another 2 minutes. Okay, so children, in my previous stream, we did trigonometric ratios, right? I discussed with you and explained you that how do we find the values for trigonometric ratios. I'm doing all fine once. I'm doing great, and it's really nice to see you all in my live stream where I just feel like teaching in classroom when I see your names in the chat box. So please post your queries in the chat box so that I can answer that, and you feel like classroom teaching where teacher answer your query whenever you have. Okay. So children, today we will be doing the practice questions on trigonometric ratios. So let's begin our class today. So my first question is, just a minute, yeah. So first question is, find the value of theta if 2 sine 2 theta is equals to root 3. So this is the question. So children, here we have one expression given as 2 sine 2 theta is equals to root 3, and we have to find the value of theta. This is a 1 mark question for CBSE exam. Sometimes it comes in 2 marks also, but now the pattern has changed. CBSE has 1 markers also. So this is a simple question which can come for 1 mark. Okay, so to solve this question, first we need to write this expression over here. Now I can take this 2 on the other side, so it becomes root 3 by 2. And we know that root 3 by 2 is the value of which trigonometric ratio? If you know it, type in the chat box. So sine 2 theta is equals to sine 60 degree. We know that sine 60 is equals to root 3 by 2. So then I can equate my thetas, that 2 theta is equals to 60 degree, correct? So then theta is equals to 60 by 2, which is equals to 30 degrees. So the answer to this question is theta equals to 30 degrees. So this is how we solve this kind of simple question. So gradually the intensity of the questions will increase. I never start with the difficult ones. I always try to build the foundation first, and then I move on to higher order problems. So this is the use of trigonometric ratios that we learned in our yesterday class, and how we use those values in the questions that are asked in board exams. Okay, so I'll be back with second question. Okay, so my second question is, if tan theta is equals to 1 by root 3, evaluate, now we have one expression, evaluate cosecant squared theta minus secant squared theta upon cosecant squared theta plus secant squared theta. Okay, so now this question is little different from the previous one, but what I taught in the first question, that how to find the value of theta, that we are going to use in this question, and then we will solve further. Then we will evaluate the answer for this expression. So here tan theta is equals to 1 by root 3. So if anybody knows for what value of theta tan is 1 by root 3, you can type your answer in the chat. Okay, so I have a new subscriber. Thank you, Mr. Baburao OP, for subscribing to Deep Tips. I hope you learn better with me. Okay, so now I am asking a question. If you know for what value of theta tan is 1 by root 3, please type your answer in the chat. So tan theta is equals to 1 by root 3 when theta is equals to 30 degree. So here, how do we write in the board? First we need to write here tan theta is equals to 1 by root 3. That's given in the question. We can write that tan of 30 degree is equals to 1 by root 3. So from here I can relate that theta is 30 degree. So then my theta is equals to 30 degree. So first part of the question is solved. This is a 2 marks question that can come in board exam. Sometimes it came for like in the previous papers it has come for 3 marks also, but now I think it can come for 2 marks only, because it's a short question where you just need to find the value of theta and then substitute this theta ka value in the expression and calculate. So now we know that our theta is 30 degree, correct? So I can substitute it in my expression. Cosecant square 30 minus secant square 30 upon cosecant square 30 plus secant square 30. Okay, so now if you remember the trigonometric ratios table that we did yesterday, you can do it very well, right? So we know that cosecant is reciprocal of sine 30. So sine 30 is 1 by 2, so cosecant 30 will be 2 by 1. So I can substitute here 2 whole square. Then secant 30 is reciprocal of cosine 30. So cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So secant 30 will be 2 by root 3 whole square. Similarly, we are going to substitute it here just with a different sign in the denominator. Okay, now it's very easy to calculate now because it's a simple calculation solving the fractions. So now 2 square is 4, so 4 minus 4 by 3 upon 4 plus 4 by 3. So if you take the LCM, it is 12 minus 4 by 3 upon 12 plus 4 by 3, which is equals to 8 by 3 upon 16 by 3. So these 3's get cancelled and 8 by 16 is equals to 1 by 2. So this is how we solve this kind of question where they give you one expression and then ask you to evaluate the other. So first we need to find the value for theta, then we substitute that theta in the expression and calculate the value for each trigonometric ratio and solve it step by step, and then you get the final answer, that is 1 by 2. I hope you are clear with the concept. Okay, so now I am on my third question, and this question is different from my first and second question. So let's do this. If sine of a minus b is equals to 1 by 2, okay, and cos of a plus b is also equals to 1 by 2. And the question is find a and b. Okay, so this is my question. Sine a minus b is equals to 1 by 2 and cos a plus b is also equals to 1 by 2. So children, here you can clearly see that sine theta is also 1 by 2 and cos theta is also 1 by 2. So just try to recall the trigonometric ratio table that we did yesterday to get the value for theta. So we know that sine 30 is 1 by 2. Correct? So I can write sine A minus B is equals to sine 30, because 1 by 2 is the value for sine 30. So in place of 1 by 2, I can rewrite this expression like this. Correct? Now can you tell me for what value of theta cos is equals to 1 by 2? What value of theta shall I substitute so that cos theta becomes equals to 1 by 2? If you know the answer, please type in the chat. And thank you, Ved, for subscribing my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so I am not getting any answers. It means you have not seen the trick to learn the trigonometric ratio table. So after this question, we are going to recall the concept and the trick to learn the trigonometric ratio table, and also we will relate it with the complementary angles. So after this question, I'm going to recall that table, the trick to learn the table. Okay, so now cos A plus B is also equals to 1 by 2. So we know that it is equals to cos 60 degree. Okay, so now if you equate these, here I get theta equals to 30 degree. Here my theta is A minus B, and in my second equation theta is A plus B. So I'll write here A plus B equals to 60 degree. Now you can clearly see I got two linear equations, A minus B equals to 30 degree and A plus B equals to 60 degree. So we know how to solve the linear equations, correct? So let's solve these. If I add these two equations, my B's get cancelled, and 2 times A gives me 90 degree. So from here I get A is equals to 45. That means the value for A is 45, and if I substitute this in first equation, this is my first equation, this is second equation. So 45 minus B is equals to 30. Now if I solve it further, I get the value for B, that is equals to 15 degree. Now if you want to verify that whether your answer is correct or not, you can do it here very well. So 45 minus 15 gives me 30, and here I have used sine 30 only, correct? And here 45 plus 15 gives me 60, and here I have taken 60 degrees. So that means my answer is correct, that A is 45 degree and B is 15 degree. So this is how you solve these kind of questions where you have to find the value of the given angles. In first two questions there was only one theta, but here theta changed to A minus B and A plus B. So we use linear equations to calculate A and B. I hope you are clear with this question. So I'll be back after a break and we learn the trick to do trigonometric table again. Okay, so here we are. I am writing that table thing again, sine, cos, tan. This is what you will write first. So please make sure you learn this trick to do trigonometry quickly in your competitive exam as well as in board exams. So first you write sine, cos and tan. Next you write 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, then 60 degree and 90 degree. Okay, let's draw some lines here to differentiate. Okay, so I am all done and I am writing it here. So the trick says first you write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I am writing here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then divide all the numbers by 4. So 0 by 4, 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4 and 4 by 4. So just have a look that is there any fraction that can be reduced further. So I can very well reduce 2 by 4 to 1 by 2, correct? And 4 by 4 is just 1. Now the last step is take the square root of all these. Okay, so we are taking the square root. So let's change the color to write the final value. So we know 0 by 4 is 0. So sine 0 is equals to 0. Root 1 by 4 is equals to 1 by 2, because we know that root 4 is equals to 2. Then we have 1 by root 2 as the value of sine 45. Now we have sine 60, that is equals to root 3 by 2, and root 1 is equals to 1 only. So these are the final values for sine 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. Yesterday I told you how to learn for cos also, but today we are going to learn the concept also. As I told you that I will be discussing about complementary angles today. So let's try to learn that why the values are written in reverse order for cosine, complementary sine. So we know that complementary angles are those angles whose sum is equal to 90 degree. Okay, so when I say sine of 0 is 0, okay, pay attention, sine of 0 is 0. What is the complementary of sine 0? Complementary of 0 is 90. So when I say complementary of sine 0, we know it is 90. So that's why we write the value of sine 90 here. So that's why we say cosine 0 is equals to sine 90. Okay, now when I say okay, complementary of sine 30 means cos 30. So what is the complementary of sine 30? We know 30 plus 60 makes 90. So when I am asking for complementary of sine 30, we know that it is equals to sine 60. So that's why I am writing the value of sine 60 here. Okay, now when I am saying complementary of sine 45, so complementary of 45 is 45 only. So that's why the value for sine 45 and complementary of sine 45 remains the same. Now let's come to complementary of sine 60, that means cos 60. So we know that complementary angle of 60 degree is 30. So that's why cos 60 is equals to sine 30. So here we write 1 by 2. Okay. Now the last one, complementary of sine 90. So we know that 90 plus 0 gives us 90 degree. So complementary angle for sine 90 is sine 0. So that's why here comes the 0. So that's why we say that cos is complementary sine. So this is the reason we switch the values, because 90 plus 0 gives me 90, 30 and 60 when they are added, they are complementary to each other and they add up to 90 degree. Okay, so for tan we know that it is sine upon cos. So 0 by 1 is 0 and 1 by 2 upon root 3 by 2 gives me 1 by root 3, and tan 45 is sine 45 upon cos 45, that is equals to 1, and tan 60 is root 3, because 2's get cancelled, sine 60 upon cos 60, and tan 90 is not defined because 1 by 0 cannot be defined. So this is the trick to learn the trigonometric table. I am hoping that in next two questions you will tell me the values for trigonometric ratios just in seconds. Yes. So let's move on to our next question, question number 4. Okay, so I'm here with question number 4, which is a big question, and it came in 4 marks in CBSE. So this question is something like this, as you can read it on my screen. It's a very big question. 2 cos square 90 degree plus 4 cos square 45 degree plus tan square 60 degree plus 3 cosecant square 60 degree plus 1 upon 3 secant 60 degree minus 7 by 2 secant square 45 degree plus 2 cosecant 30 degree and minus 1. So as you can see, this is a big question, but it is the easier one. I bet you getting the 4 marks for this question is very simple if you know the trigonometric table. So that I have just told you, we have just revised from yesterday's class the trick to write the trigonometric table. You can always check back this video or the previous stream to learn the trick. If you know the trick, this 4 marks you will never lose. Okay, so now 2 cos square 90 degree. So for this we should know the value of cos 90, and if you look at this table, cos 90 is 0. So I can just write here 2 into 0. Okay, let's change the color. Okay, so we can write here 2 into 0, then plus 4 into cos square 45. So we know that cos square 45 means 1 by root 2 whole square, correct? Then I have tan 60. So tan 60 is root 3. So we can write here root 3 whole square plus 3 times cosecant square 60. So now we know that sine reciprocal of trigonometric ratio of sine gives us cosecant, right? So sine 60 means 2 by root 3, just reciprocal of sine 60. Okay, so we will write here 3 into 2 by root 3 whole square plus 1. Okay, now let's look at the denominator. In denominator I have secant 60. So secant 60, I can write the value if I know cos 60. So cos 60 is 1 by 2. So secant 60 will be 2 by 1. Okay, minus 7 by 2 and secant square 45. So which is equals to root 2 whole square plus 2 into cosecant 30 is 2 by 1 minus 1, correct? So I have just substituted the values. So see, if you get the first step right in this question, then rest of the steps are just cakewalk for you, because if you have substituted the values right here, then you can solve the fraction anyways. So 2 into 0 gives me 0, and 4 into 1 by root 2 whole square gives me 1 by 2 plus 3 into 4 by 3 plus 1. Now if you look here, this is 3 into 2, that gives me 6, minus 7 by 2 into 2 plus 4 minus 1. Now these 2's get cancelled, correct? And here 2 2's are 4. These 3's also get cancelled. So now if you look here, I just have 2 times 1, 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 upon 6 minus 7 plus 4 minus 1. So it's easier to calculate now. 4 plus 3 7 plus 2 plus 9 plus 1 10 upon 6 plus 4 10 minus 8 gives me 2. So that means my answer is 5. So you must be wondering that for such a big question, a small answer, right? So the everything that gives you or that helps you to get 4 marks is here in the second step. If you know the trigonometric table and you substitute all the values correctly, then you are left with nothing, just simple calculations. I hope you are clear with this question. After this, I have a trickier one question, which is a blend of geometrical figure and the trigonometric ratios. Okay, Hey, hi Vikhyati. Hello Anne. So nice to see you in my session. So we are doing questions on trigonometric ratios and I am doing question number 5. And I recommend you to watch the trick to learn trigonometric values because it's very important in your board exam. And it will help you to save on time while calculating heights and distances questions and wherever you need the values for trigonometric ratios. So stay tuned for question number 5. A rhombus of side 20 centimeter has two angles of 60 degree each. Find the length of the diagonals. So this kind of question sometimes comes for 3 marks or it can come for 4 marks also. Okay, so Amani, okay, nice YouTube name. Okay, Amani, so good to see you both. Okay, so yeah, let's see the chat first. So yes, okay, so you people want me to repeat the trigonometric table? Vikhyati, Amani, if you want, please write in the chat. Then I will definitely do it at the end of the video. Okay, so don't worry. Anyways, I have done it, but if you want me to do it again, I can do it for you. That's not a problem. Yeah. Okay. So now let's do this question first. A rhombus of side 20 centimeter has two angles of 60 degree each. Okay, and find the length of the diagonals. Okay children, so here in this question like children mostly get confused that how to do it because 90 degree is not there and how do we do this question. So this is a very important question and a different one that you normally don't see in your regular textbooks, but this is a different question that I have chosen for today's stream. So for this type of question, first you should remember the properties of the quadrilaterals. Okay, so we know that rhombus is a quadrilateral in which opposite angles are equal. So here they have clearly mentioned that two angles are 60 degree. So let's draw one rhombus. Okay, so if this is my rhombus and let's mark this ABCD, and they have clearly mentioned that two angles are 60 degree. So I have taken these two as 60 degree. Okay, and I have to find the length of the diagonals. So here is my first diagonal and this is my second diagonal. So AC and BD are my two diagonals. Okay, so now how do we do this? So my first property that I know is opposite angles are equal. Okay, I know this property, so that's why I marked it. Now I should know some information about the diagonals also to solve this question. So I know that diagonals of the rhombus, they bisect each other at 90 degree. So let's mark 190 degree angle here. So I got my right angle triangle now. Correct. So AC and BD, they are intersecting at point E. Okay, so AC and BD are intersecting at point E. Okay, so now if you look here children, they have also given that a rhombus of side 20 centimeter. We know that all sides of a rhombus are equal. Correct. So let's write here 20, 20, 20. I want everyone to just think about this question. Okay, so yeah. So if you have any clue, you can type in the chat that how to do this. What else we got in this diagram? So if you look here, they have mentioned that each angle here is 60 degree, correct? So when diagonals, I have drawn the diagonals, so diagonals are bisecting the angles, so this is 30. So now I can write in right angled triangle AEB, we know that it is right angled at E. Okay, I have this angle EAB 30 degree. So now I know trigonometry, I know my Pythagoras, and I know my trigonometric ratios. So children, here when I am taking triangle AEB, my angle is at A. So I told you always that side opposite to 90 degree is hypotenuse. So in this type of triangle, don't get confused. We are very much clear that AB is hypotenuse. Okay, and which is my base? Base is the one on which my 30 degree is drawn. So AE is my base. Okay, and BE is the perpendicular. And you know our Pandit ji wala formula that I taught you in my previous video. So I am writing it again for your reference. Pandit Badri Prasad Hari Hari Bole Sona Chandi Tole. Right? Pandit Badri Prasad Hari Hari Bole Sona Chandi Tole. Okay. Okay, so yes, Vikhyati, okay, I'll read what are you saying. Just a minute. So Vikhyati is saying these three statements. Yes. Okay, so I'll show you how to do this. See, we got one thing, that opposite angles are equal, correct? We know that diagonals are bisecting at angle E, so we have a 90 degree angle. Also we know that diagonals are bisecting the opposite angles. So I got 30 degree, I got 90 degree. So this is the perfect condition to find the diagonal, because if I get the value for BE, I can double it to get BD, and if I get the value for AE, I can double it to get AC, correct? So now let's do it. I have my 30 degree, so I can just take sine 30 degree, and I know sine 30 is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So here my perpendicular is BE and hypotenuse is AB, correct? So sine 30 is BE upon AB. So what is the value for sine 30? Sine 30 is 1 by 2. Okay, so 1 by 2 is equals to BE upon AB is 20, correct? So this 2 ones are 2, 2 tens are 20. So BE is equals to 10. So now when my BE is 10, this BE is 10, I can just double it. 2 times BE gives me BD, correct? So BD is equals to 10 into 2, 20 centimeters. So I get the length of one diagonal BD, but I have to find the length for AC also. For that I need AE. So which trigonometric ratio can I use? Type your answer in the chat. Which trigonometric ratio I can use now to find AE? I am waiting for your answers. So if you know this, you can type it. So we know sine is perpendicular upon hypotenuse and cosine is base upon hypotenuse, and this 30 degree is on base AE. So I can use cos 30, that is equals to AE upon AB, right? So I know the value for AE, that is root 3 by 2, and AE is equals to, we don't know, AB is 20. So 2 tens are 20. So this gives me the value for AE, that is 10 root 3. So these are the lengths of my diagonals. So AE is 10 root 3, but this is not end of the question because diagonal is AC. So if you double 10 root 3, you get the value 20 root 3. Okay, so these are my values. You can always substitute the value for root 3, that is 1.732, and solve it. So 20 into 1.732, right? Okay, so this is how we solve this question. It's a very interesting question with the rhombus in picture and finding the diagonals of rhombus using trigonometry. Okay, so yeah, so those who are tuned in and want me to Yeah, want me to repeat the trigonometric table? You can write it in the chat. I'll do that for you guys. Okay, so yes, you could have done Pythagoras theorem, using Pythagoras theorem, but how you will find? Because here you have two unknown values, BE and AE. If you do Pythagoras, you don't know BE as well as you don't know AE. So Pythagoras, I don't think so you can do directly in easier way. So that's why I use trigonometric ratio here. So to save time and to do it quickly, for Pythagoras, to find one of the value we need at least two values. So here the hint in this question was that 30° was given in the question. No Vikhyati, we don't have two sides here, we have only outer sides given here. But when I take this triangle, this 10 I wrote because I got the answer. Okay, so this 10 was not given in the question. You might have mistaken by just looking at the 10, but the 10 was not given. The 10 I found here, that's why I wrote 10 there. Okay, so we didn't have any two sides, we have only one side, AB 20. AE and BE both were missing, that's why we could not use Pythagoras directly. So instead of Pythagoras, we used trigonometric ratios. I hope I made my point. Okay, yes, okay, so I will repeat it as you are asking for it, and it's very important for your board exams. And while I am repeating it, children, I will cover the complementary angles also. Okay, so see here, the trick says first write sine, cos and tan. Okay, now look very carefully, and on the top you write 0, then you write 30, 45, 60 and 90°. Okay, these are the values that you need for your board exam, that you need to memorize. So the trick says first write numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now divide every number by 4. So everything divided by 4. Now let's simplify. Just have a look quickly, that is any fraction can be reduced further. So I can see that 2 by 4 can be written as 1 by 2. 3 by 4 cannot be written, and 4 by 4 is 1. We know that. So now next step is just take the root of all these. Take the root of all these. Okay. So now when we are taking the root, I get my final answer. So 0 by 4 is 0. Root of 1 by 4 is equals to 1 by 2. Root of 1 by root 2 is 1 upon root 2, and this is root 3 by 2, and this is 1. So this is the trick, to write the trigonometric table in the beginning when you are writing your exam, so that you don't have to think and waste time on the ratios. Now how to do cos? So we will just switch. 90 goes for 0, so 1 here. 60 goes for 30. 45, oh sorry, here I should write root 3 by 2. Okay, and for 45 stays the same, and this 30 goes here 1 by 2, and 0 goes in the place of 90. Okay, so are you clear, Vikhyati, the trick for this table? And for tan, we know tan is sine upon cos. So 0 upon 1 gives me 0, and 1 by 2 upon root 3 by 2 gives me 1 by root 3. 1 by root 2 upon 1 by root 2 gives me 1, and dividing root 3 by 2 upon 1 by 2 gives me root 3, and this is 1 by 0 is not defined. So this is how we calculate. And if you have to write for cosecant, secant, cot, we know that the reciprocals of sine give us cosecant, reciprocals of cos give us secant, and reciprocals of tan give us cotangent. So this is how we do this. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear with this table. This is the third time we are doing this. I want all my students to know this properly so that you don't lose upon any marks in the exam. Okay, this is very, very important. So this is why we do this table, to solve the questions quickly. And when you are writing the board exam, it's just a tip, you can do it in your rough column, so that whenever you are solving heights and distances, you just quickly refer to the table and substitute the values. Okay, so this is how we do this. And tomorrow we will be doing the questions on complementary angles. And as the number of the stream grows, the complexity will grow. So in my stream number 4, we are going to do complementary angles, and then we will do trigonometric identities, and after that we'll spend time on heights and distances. So far I was building your foundation of trigonometry by teaching you basic trigonometric ratios and their values for different angles, and today we solve the questions also, but tomorrow we are going to learn about complementary angles. Okay, so complementary angles I discussed in between also. When I was explaining the table, I just gave you an idea that how this complementary angle works, but tomorrow we'll just derive and see that why they are equal. Okay, so we'll do it and you will get a better idea, better clarity of the concept, and then we are going to solve the questions based on complementary angles. Okay, so stay tuned for more streams. Thank you so much. So bye bye, and subscribe my channel, share my video, like it, and share it with your friends so that more children can tune in. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good night.